When it comes to investing, real estate investment trusts or REITs are a popular way for investors to get into commercial property. Now, there are 44 REITs and property trusts listed on the Singapore Exchange, and in the first quarter of this year, the top 5 performing Singapore REITs and property trusts averaged 14.1% total returns, outperforming the benchmark STI's 9.6%. Will REITs continue to deliver for investors in the months ahead? Well, joining us is Associate Editor Lee Su Shyan. So, Su Shyan, for people looking to invest in Singapore REITs, is now a good time to put some money into that?
Well, in every investor's portfolio, I think it's a good idea to have some REITs, as they pay out their rental income on a regular basis, so you get a regular stream of income. Now, just last week, the US Federal Reserve raised rates for the first time in a long while. For REITs, the idea is that rising rates aren't good for them. Now, why? Because higher rates increases their borrowing costs. Also, if consumers are spending less, then REITs will earn less profit. But looking back at times when the rates were rising, it's not clear that there was such a direct relationship. So a good example is between 2015 and 2019, when rates went up to more than 2%, but our Singapore REITs, in fact, also went up. They went up by about 73%. Also, do note, we are now in an inflationary environment, which means our money is worth less. As at March 31st, all the REITs in Singapore gave a yield of about 6.1%. That's higher than the core inflation rate of 2.1% and higher than the yield on the MAS 10-year bond, and definitely higher than any fixed deposit you can get. So REITs can act as a hedge against inflation. If you take the FTSE ST REIT index or the IHS REIT index, both have delivered higher yields and less volatility when compared even with the SDI, the Dow Jones, Japan's Nikkei and Hong Kong's Hang Seng.
I see. So, Su Shyan, when it comes to picking which REITs to invest in, which ones have analysts tipped to do better this year?
Right. Well, we're going to have the opening up of the economy, so some of the sectors that are set to do well, and in fact have already done better in the last couple of months, are the office and retail REITs. In March, the retail REITs had an average dividend yield of 7.8% and office REITs were about 7.6%. So if you think about it, it kind of makes sense. As you know, workers are switching from pajamas to workwear. For those who are keen on the US office market, SGX has Manulife US REIT, Prime US REIT, Keppel Pacific Oak US REIT. Now these three have an average distribution yield of about 8.7%. For Singapore too, you should see some upside. Now, Grade A office rents in the Central Business District, they saw the fastest quarterly growth in the first 3 months of 2022, since rents turned around in the second quarter of last year. This is according to JLL Singapore. So REITs in this sector would include, say, CapitaLand Integrated Commercial Trust. Now, it has many commercial properties. Some examples would be Capita Green and Capital Tower. This is in the Raffles Place and Tanjong Pagar area. On the retail front, we also expect to see improvement. So even though we don't see the key China market because the China tourists can't come in, but actually in March, Changi Airport already recorded, the highest passenger numbers they had seen in 2 years. Now this will be a key boost for the retail sector. So CICT, which has malls such as, Junction 8 and Plaza Singapura in its portfolio, they're already positive on the retail sector. They've already noted that they've seen higher tenant sales in the first quarter compared with a year earlier. Others in the retail sector would be, say, Lend-Lease Commercial REIT. It has 313 at Somerset and it has GEM. And another example would be Fraser Centrepoint Trust. It has properties like Causeway Point and Tiong Bahru Plaza.
Thank you so much to Lee Su Shyan, Associate Editor at the Straits Times. You can find out more about Singapore REITs and whether now's a good time to invest in them. Su Shyan's stories can be found at str.sg/invest.